Up next, students and staff at the University of North Dakota will have to wear face coverings indoors starting tomorrow. And a Fargo man is helping give back to local educators in a big way. Plus, the Taliban amps up security as they continue their takeover in Afghanistan. Valley News Live at 10 is straight ahead.
This is Valley News Live at 10.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. We start things off with a look at your forecast as some rain is passing through our region. Meteorologist Nathan Hopper is here now. Nathan, what do you have for us?
Yeah, and Nishay, today was a first alert weather day. It did not disappoint with some impressive photos and, of course, some much needed rainfall across our region. This from the Devil's Lake area. Joe sent this picture in of a water spout. You can see that funnel reaching all the way to the ground and interacting with that water there in the Devil's Lake area. That was around 6 o'clock from this evening. Also, this picture from northwest of the Carrington area, a lot of hail clumped up right near the gutter spout, the downspout. From this particular photo. Thanks, Travis, for uploading this one to our website, valleynewslive.com. Here's how things look right now. Low pressure system continues to spin off toward the north of Winnipeg, but the waves of energy we're seeing right now through portions of northern Minnesota are in an environment that's not really conducive to any severe weather. So I think our severe weather threat for this evening is done, though we are still seeing some much needed rain showers moving in to portions of the New Fulton area, Thief River Falls, so Marshall County, Pennington County as well. So that's what we're tracking for us. But Nishay, a quieter forecast in store for Monday, so we'll talk about that and get early look at the next business week in a few minutes.
All right, well, thank you so much, Nathan.
You bet.
Tropical storm Henri hit the northeast coast this afternoon, packing high winds that knocked out power lines for tens of thousands of homes, and bands of rain led to flash flooding from New Jersey to Massachusetts. The storm was downgraded from a hurricane to a tropical storm, but still packed wind gusts of up to 70 miles per hour. And at least 15 people have been killed in severe flooding in Tennessee. Officials say 30 people are also still missing. Search efforts are underway as families frantically search for their loved ones. The Tennessee Emergency Management Agency has activated a level 3 state of emergency as a result of the flooding. President Biden said today the White House will offer Tennessee the support that they need to aid in the impacts of the severe flooding. State leaders made more than $2 million available for emergency water relief for farmers and ranchers. People can apply for up to $4,500 for temporary water solutions. Costs can be reimbursed for buying and transporting water, renting tanks and trailers, or temporary systems. This is to cover for any time between July 30th and October 31st.
Our program is put in place to help with those immediate needs. Go back for expenses that have been incurred, and at least we can help offset some of those costs.
Now, only one payment will be made, so producers are recommended to wait before applying. Today was move-in day for students at Concordia College, and after all the heavy lifting was done, students had the chance to learn more about campus clubs and opportunities for the coming year. Classes are set to start on Tuesday. Effective tomorrow, the University of North Dakota is implementing a mask requirement indoors for students and staff. The university cited the increasing number of COVID-19 cases in Grand Forks as a reasoning for the mask mandate. Students will be required to wear face coverings in some indoor public spaces on campus, including hallways, classrooms, administrative buildings, and teaching laboratories. Individual offices and private living spaces are not considered a defined public space, according to UND officials, although masks are strongly encouraged in other public spaces such as residence hall and campus apartment common areas, the wellness center, and athletic facilities. Tomorrow, the East Grand Forks School Board is expected to finalize a return to learn plan for this upcoming year. The proposed plan will be up for public comment. The board is expected to possibly discuss potential policies regarding masks, vaccinations, and quarantine periods. The school board meeting is scheduled for 5:30 p.m. at the East Grand Forks Senior High School. Many schools are starting back up this week, and teachers are still getting their supplies to prepare for the upcoming academic year. One Fargo resident is giving back by buying items off the wish list of local educators. Valley News Team's Aaron Walling brings us the story.
You're part of a community, and unless you really give back, are you truly part of that community?
Schools open this week in the Fargo-Moorhead area as teachers look to get their supplies in order for the upcoming semester. And one Fargo resident is wanting to give back to educators by buying some of their supplies.
And I just feel that. I truly do feel you have to give before you can take. And so it just feels good. Whether I ever meet these people in person, that's not why I do it. I just wanted to share a little positive in today's world because it's difficult right now.
Weidrich says that he has seen celebrities do the same on the national level and thought to himself that he could do the same here.
I've had a few conversations with people and they just mentioned they also have lists. So I just thought it was really kind of cool to just come up with that idea.
Weidrich is willing to pay for an item on a teacher's wish list, just wanting to give back to those that educate the next generation.
Just 2 words, thank you, that's it. That's it, nothing more. Because I mean, I could never do it. You have to be somebody special to do that role, to do that job. So just thank you.
In Fargo, Aaron Walling, Valley News Live.
For more information on how you can help in this effort, visit our website and just click on this story. And here's a reminder for parents of students in the Dilworth, Glendon, Felton School District. Back to school night is scheduled tomorrow for some students. At DGF Middle School, 6th grade students and parents will meet between 5:30 and 7 p.m. Grades 7 through 8 are scheduled for 7 to 8:30 p.m. And over at DGF High School, back to school night is planned for 5 to 6:30 p.m. for all grades. And kids can get a free haircut and shampoo before going back to school. The cuts are being offered by the Joseph School of Hair, Skin and Body through a partnership with the Salvation Army. You can take your child tomorrow to the South Fargo location at 3223 13th Avenue South from 10 in the morning to 3:30 in the afternoon. The Biden administration's latest eviction moratorium may continue. A federal appeals court's decision not to block the moratorium was in response to a request from landlord groups who wanted it gone. The case will now likely go to the Supreme Court. In June, the High Court refused to block an earlier version of the moratorium. It may be more willing to halt the current version, which the CDC announced this month. The current ban on evictions applies to areas of the country with reported high or substantial transmission of COVID-19. We're told that accounts for the vast majority of the country. Taliban fighters who rolled into Afghanistan's capital and other cities in recent days have been attempting to normalize the country's general population. Some were seen at a checkpoint in Kabul today searching vehicles in what the members claimed was an effort to, quote, ensure security. A group of Taliban responsible for providing security in an area best known as the Green Zone take part in daily patrols. The Taliban have pledged to restore law and order, but that could take time, and some fear that might lead to them to resort to brutal measures. In a briefing today, President Joe Biden said the U.S. and its allies have evacuated more than 28,000 people out of Afghanistan in the last 8 days. Biden also says it's critical to get Americans home.
Our first priority in Kabul is getting American citizens out of the country as quickly and as safely as possible. At my direction, the State Department continues to reach out to the remaining Americans we have identified by phone, email, and other means to ascertain their whereabouts and their plans. We're executing a plan to move groups of these Americans to safety and to safely and effectively move them to the airport compound.
And although rescue plans are being executed to evacuate Americans and Afghan refugees, the process has been anything but orderly. Thousands of Afghans descended on the airport to escape Taliban rule, and at least 7 have died trying to flee. Here's the latest from Doha.
The evacuation that is taking place in Kabul is extremely chaotic. and it is not at all what it was intended to be. This was supposed to be for American citizens, foreign contractors, Afghans who worked with U.S. troops. Instead, the Taliban moved in to Kabul earlier than expected when the U.S. pulled out troops, and the president of Afghanistan, Ashraf Ghani, suddenly ran from the country, and now there is a state of panic. People by the thousands, tens of thousands, are rushing to this base. The Americans on that base are not equipped to handle this. This has now become a kind of evacuation of refugees from the city.
We're going to continue that in the days ahead and get out thousands more Afghans who are at risk and or who supported the U.S. military effort in Afghanistan, along with continuing to ensure that we are focused on getting American citizens out who want to leave the country.
But there are 6 million people. That base is not equipped to empty out all of Kabul. So now the U.S. is doing it. They are pushing ahead. They are trying to pick out the people they need while taking some of the people rushing to the base and not preventing and trying to prevent it all from collapsing entirely. Richard Engel, NBC News, Doha.
Later on Valley News Live at 10, a 19-year-old is hoping to set a world record.
And before the storms rolled through today, we had a gusty south wind, 45 miles per hour. That gust in Fargo, 44 in Carrington and Jamestown, even 43 in Grand Forks, 47 that wind gust today in Minot. Of course, a less windy Monday on the docket. I'll break down your forecast next.